Are we live now? This motherfucker? Oh, we are live now. All right. Welcome to welcome to Keyboard Warriors. My name is Eddie Law. I'm your host. With me, as always, Fred Kirby from Gem City Fighting. What's up, dude?
Hey, what's happening, Eddie? What's happening, Aaron?
How's it going, buddy?
And from Stand and Bang Radio, Aaron Robbins. What's up, man?
Um, Stuff. That's why we're doing the show.
That's why we're doing the show. Exactly. All right. So, if you've been on Twitter for the last hour, you've seen the explosion of Anderson Silva on steroids talk. Figured we jump on here real quick and talk about it. So when you first saw the news of it, just give like your first reaction to it. So let's start with Fred.
Fucking shocked, man. I was surprised. I mean, I guess everybody's going to say that. Like, of all the people, like Anderson Silva, you just didn't expect it, man. Hindsight's 2020, but now looking back on it, just like we touched on before we went live, I kind of feel like it makes a little sense now. He suffered a horrific injury. He fucking healed at a Wolverine-esque pace. He's up fucking dancing around 6 weeks later and shit, walking up and down steps, and he tested positive for steroids. It's not terribly surprising. It fucking sucks though. Again, like we was talking about, fucking people love to hate, man. People love to hate, and the fuckers are just gonna jump out and hate the shit out of him for this. They're gonna say he's been juicing his whole fucking career. He was in Japan. This is just gonna be, if you really didn't fuck with dude before and any inclination, this is gonna be all the reason for you to just throw him under the bus. Which I think is kind of some bullshit, man. I don't think he deserves that. Obviously, this is some, fucked up shit, but I think that he's probably going to end up getting fucking tarnished a little bit more than he actually deserves at the end of the day for all this shit. So.
Yeah, and the crazy thing too, I mean, we know how the internet works. We know how people work. They're gonna go after him like like they went after John Jones for the coke thing, maybe even harsher because of the fact that he's considered the greatest of all time. But Aaron has a little bit of a different view. What do you think of this, man?
Well, like you and I talked, an initial reaction is honestly, I thought you were messing with me because we had the direct message thing going on, and we were talking about this and that, and you're like, "Holy shit, Anderson Silva roids," and I'm like, "What? Where?" And then I saw Helwani's thing, and I was like, "All right, it's legit. He's not messing with me." But I think that he's 39 years old, and like Fred pointed out, he's got like mutant healing abilities. I think a lot of it was a mental thing, do you know what I mean? And here's another thing. These guys aren't islands. You know what I mean? There's a management team that knows what's up, that provides. There's a coaching staff that knows what's up, that provides. You know what I mean? These guys are surrounded, especially at this level, $800,000 fights without bonuses and sponsorships and everything else. So, Fred's absolutely right. People are going to jump up his ass, and it's already started happening. I mean, I don't get into Twitter battles with fucking idiots because there's so many of them that I can't possibly win. But right away, oh, he's no longer the GOAT, and I think his status is gone. And then right away, out of the same asshole, which they call a mouth, they're like, now John Jones is the GOAT. It's like, fuck, man, how can you guys be so narrow-minded? You know what I mean? If this guy's no longer the GOAT, and then you got fucking Johnny Cokehead Jones, Johnny DUI, busting up his fucking Bentley with chicks in it Jones, I'm going to go to rehab for one day, making it rain in strip clubs. Yeah, that's what I want my son to look up and be like, no, steroids are bad, but being a cokehead drunk going to the strip clubs and who the fuck knows, yeah, you're the greatest of all time. You can't only make it inside of the cage. You know what I mean? And then on the other hand, too, like, let's all be realistic. Let's say that Anderson Silva has been enhancing with performance-enhancing drugs his entire career. That don't make you slip punches like that. That doesn't give you better reflexes. It's not like he got bit by a radioactive spider. You know what I mean? This stuff is used for muscle mass and for weight cutting and for heel recovery, or recovering during healing. I mean, he was still able to put his back up against the cage, and 90% of fighters, even with his hands straight down to his waist, back up against the cage, couldn't touch him. So, I'm going to say, yeah, of course, his reputation is going to be tarnished, but it's going to be tarnished by the fucking idiots out there that don't have any kind of life and just want to jump on somebody and hate. They don't know their circumstances. You know what I mean? And you don't know what you would do given that situation. You have to be the best of the best for 9 straight years. You start to slip a little bit. You start to lose your edge. I'll tell you what, man. With $1 million paychecks coming down the pipe, I'm 37, 38, 39. My coaching staff, my management staff says, hey, he's normal. I might, you know what I mean? So I think that people shouldn't make such a huge distinction. They shouldn't rush to judgment so fast. This guy entertained us for a decade. You know what I mean? He entertained us more than anybody else for a decade. We anticipated his fights more than anyone else for a decade. So he cheated in his last fight. All right.
Yeah, and the thing is too is the pressure to stay great. I mean, to take it out of MMA for a second, and this is going to be a bit of a drastic change or a comparison. But A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez in baseball, when he got popped for steroids the first time, because it's been multiple times apparently. I don't watch baseball. I just read the fucking news on ESPN. But fucking, when he got popped for roids, Alex Rodriguez was talking about the pressure to deliver on a $100 million, $200 million contract. Anderson Silva has the pressure, still has it, of being the best, to a lot of people, the greatest of all time. That's some fucking pressure that nobody on Twitter fucking knows. And so, of course social media is going to lose its shit. It's going to be the casual fans that are losing their shit, because of that of not understanding the situation itself.
Well, also you got to understand too, the casual fans are going to be fucking up in arms about it. This is our Michael Jordan, Imagine the guys who aren't really, major fans of MMA, who kind of ride the fence a little bit. They go, "Oh, holy shit, Michael Jordan was a fucking cheater. Like, none of this shit's even legit. Like, this guy was the guy you guys think was Bruce Lee was fucking cheating the whole, you know what I'm saying?" So it's going to kind of fucking, you're going to have those douchebags coming out of the woodwork and talking major shit in general. So that is not fucking great, but it is what it is. You're going to have that regardless.
It's absolutely true, but you guys are hardcore fans, and you know this. You guys have been in a gym. I don't know if you guys done sparring or fighting or anything like that. But just sticking a needle in your ass and putting some performance-enhancing drugs in you, that doesn't take away the hard work that this dude put in. It doesn't take away his technique. It doesn't take away his reflexes. You know what I mean? That doesn't come in a needle. What we're talking about is a physiological process. He heals faster. If it was anabolic, then he was able to grow muscle faster. If it was weight cutting, then he was able to take the weight off easier. But that don't teach you footwork. And it doesn't teach you how to turn over your hip on those kicks. And it doesn't teach you how to slip and rip. And it doesn't teach you how to bob and weave. And so, you know what I mean? Yeah, man, it's unfortunate. And I think all of us have said the same thing. It's that immense pressure to entertain us and to be the best. You know what I mean? And if you go down, and you guys can feel free to disagree with me on this one, but what do you think is longer? The list of guys who use or the list of guys who don't?
I would go with the latter. Let's say, longer? The list of guys who use is longer. Has to be.
Yeah. Listen, I would obviously. I mean, people are testing positive left and right, and those are just the ones we find. So, I would say that there's probably a lot of people that are on steroids or testing positive or whatever that we don't find. But I want to make something clear, though, for the record here. I do not think that Anderson Silva has been on steroids throughout his career. I think he fucked up and made a mistake here at the end. He tried to rush shit on a bad injury. This is just my personal fucking opinion. But like you said, it wouldn't help him if he was. But when he was in his heyday and when he became the fucking GOAT, I don't think he was on steroids. I don't think he, I don't think he was cheating during that time whatsoever.
Right.
Hold on. Ed, you brought up A-Rod. I want to bring up something way from left field, too, because this is just something, this is professional sports. Casual fans, even hardcore fans, unless you're, say, a manager, PR guy, coach, some support team, something like that, we don't really get to see the inside world. Talking about some left field shit, you guys remember a guy named Lance Armstrong?
Yeah.
Yeah. Naturally.
All right, how many years did that motherfucker get away with it, right? He was a hero. He was a hero, lived strong, and he recovered from testicle and lung and brain cancer all at once. Talk about being Wolverine, right? All right, so finally he gets caught. Now, I don't know if you guys read up on this or anything, but if I remember correctly, they were trying to figure out who they would give all of those Tour de France wins to. And I'm pretty sure with all the anti-doping and all of the scandal, they had to go down to 22nd position to find a guy who had never had suspicion of doping. Now that'll show you, man, that's why he was in 22nd place, because the 21 guys in front of him were doping.
Yeah.
That don't mean you're first place. You still were 22nd. And that'll show you how much you suck compared to the guys that were enhancing themselves. So I mean, hey, good job, you were clean, but you
should have juiced.
You came in 7.5 hours later than everybody else. So fuck, man. My point is this, man. People got to grow the fuck up. Either love the sport or stop fucking watching it.
Go ahead,
That
Fred.
is kind of discouraging, though. That is kind of discouraging, though. You hear that shit, man. If I'm a fucking young guy and I want to be the greatest fighter on planet Earth, and I fucking hear shit like this, what the fuck, man? Who wants to be a cheater, but who the fuck wants to go in there, bust your fucking ass, train hard, and get outdone by some guy just because he fucking cheated? And you hear shit like this, and it makes you think, well, why the fuck wouldn't you? I almost feel like I'm getting peer pressured to fucking do coke at a high school party. Like, everybody else is fucking doing it. If you don't, you're not going to be able to fucking hang out. What the fuck? Get the fuck out if you're not going to fucking shoot it in your ass.
Yeah.
Fred, what the fuck are you doing at a high school party?
Fucking making a ref.
They're 18. It's all legal. Anyway. So obviously the MMA world's reacting to this shit. What's up?
Don't get me wrong, man. I'm not condoning it. There's guys out there, man. Michael Bisping, big proponent.
Yep.
Aljamain Sterling, guy over at Sarah Longo. Eddie Gordon. I'll bet you there's not. If there is any funny business, I will lay money that Matt Serra and Ray Longo don't know no shit going on over in that camp, because they're like all American and they always brag about how clean they are and shit. There might be some greasy, Philly cheesesteaks being thrown around over there, but there isn't no roids. I'm not condoning it, man. I'm just saying that this is the world that we live in. You really think that baseball players are clean, or football players are clean, or fucking Michael Phelps is clean? I mean, come on. These things don't fucking shock me anymore, because how many times can you get shocked by the same fucking news? You know what I mean? Oh, another guy got busted for steroids. It's the nature of the beast. And until they figure out how to radically restructure their drug screening policies, this is just something that we're going to see flare up from time to time.
Yeah, and at this point, it's almost unfortunately become kind of part of the sport, and it's almost like one of those things where you either have to accept that it happens and deal with it, or you have to put in harsher penalties, I guess, if you test positive, and make an example. But imagine some guys not using performance-enhancing drugs. Like, I wonder how many of the higher ranked fighters would drop like drastically in ranking or even out of the sport if they didn't use PEDs and all that shit.
Well, fuck, man, that's an easy question to ask. Look at all these old guys going to shit off of TRT.
That's true. I mean, what's his name? Bigfoot Silva. Fucking, it was like night and day with him. Even though supposedly he needs it, I actually believe that he does need that TRT shit to live. And so, I mean, I don't know, just from what I've read, but because I don't know the guy. But guys like Chael Sonnen saying he needs it. But I mean, wait, real quick, wasn't TRT something you used because you used roids earlier on?
Basically.
Yeah, man. Go ahead, Fred.
I mean, yeah, basically in a nutshell, that's what it is. I mean, if you're fucking under, 52 and you need TRT, it's like a 95% chance it's because you used some form of steroids earlier in your life. Like, a normal fucking man of that age is not going to need TRT for no reason. Certainly not a fucking healthy, adult male that's taking great care of themselves and in the gym constantly.
Yeah.
No.
Also, for anyone watching, if you want to make any comments, while the show's going on live, I'm assuming it's the left side here, I think. Let's say one of these sides is the fucking comment box. Say some shit, or hit us up on Twitter. Ela
It
31.
say nothing.
What?
It don't say on the screen.
No, it's not on our screen. But if you actually click on the if you go to the actual video, there's a comment section somewhere. I'm actually like monitoring the bitch.
Oh
But
So
fuck,
you
man.
know, yeah, I want to say. So you know your boy Nick has got to be heartbroken,
oh,
right? Like,
dude, did you saw the tweet? The tweet he sent out. He's speechless.
oh
That dude is
yeah, like
heartbroken.
Superman just died, man. Like he's fucking. He couldn't even make the show tonight. He's like, fuck it, it's over.
Yeah, he wanted to be on the show too. He was like, I had to work late, but he was like the most like it was like the most depressing sounding message I've ever read. He was like, I got to work late today. I wanted to be on, but I guess we'll just talk about it tomorrow in 5 rounds. I'm like, all right, but I
Yeah, we
can't wait to
miss
shit
you.
on him for it.
We miss you, Nick.
Yeah, Nick, tune in, Nick. I'll send you the link if you get home early. But anyway, so okay, so what happens now? That's the biggest question, right? Because Silva hasn't released a statement yet. Um, he's not going to yet. He's going to be very, very smart about the words he decides to use. You know, Ed Source is going to be in his ear and up his ass about it too. But ultimately, what do you think happens with Anderson Silva, Fred?
Oh fuck, man. I don't know. On one hand, I want to say I guess he should just go ahead and ride into the sunset with this. You know, I don't know what him coming back would look like after something like this. You know, um, but then again, you hate to see him retire on a note like this, retiring on getting busted for steroids and shit. Like you kind of want to see him come back and clear his name, kind of so to
Yeah.
speak, or something, and test clean and win a fight. But I have no idea what they're going to do with this. I guess I kind of wonder what the UFC will do, how long they'll suspend him, what they'll fine him. I don't know, man. I guess if I had to make a prediction now, I kind of want to say that maybe he just fucking retires. Maybe you got to think maybe he knew, right? I mean, we always allude to the fact that there's a management team behind these guys. There's right hand man. Hey, somebody had to get him the steroids, Jack. Anderson
Yeah.
didn't create it in a lab in Brazil. You know what I'm like? Somebody fucking knew. You know, there's always a drug dealer. So, um, I don't know, man. Maybe he fucking knew. You know, maybe him and Nick was kicking it before, and Nick was getting smoked out, and Anderson was fucking roiding, and they was like, "Fuck it, yo, we're both going to get paid and retire." I have no idea. Maybe he retires.
What do you think, Aaron?
All right, now Ed Source, he's the manager. Is that Black House?
Yeah.
That should be Black House, yeah.
Yeah, man. There's some shady shit going down at Black House. Did you guys read the stats of how many people have tested positive for steroids at a Black House?
No, what was it?
I have it.
Just recently, there's like 5 or 6 guys that just got hit recently. What is his name? Cavalcantes or something
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. And
Cavalcante.
yeah, like Anderson Silva, a few guys, man. So there's something going on. There's something. Maybe they should start calling it Black Horse or something. I don't know, but horse meat. But
Horse me, yeah.
what should he do? Fuck, man. I just don't see the same. I don't see the same fire in him anymore, man. When he talked about it in after he got knocked out by Weidman, he says, "Oh, I don't fight for championship no more. He championed this and that and blah blah blah." We're talking about the pressure of 9 years. But I got to do that effeminate voice, man. For all through the late '80s and early '90s, I used to do a Mike Tyson impression, and it's always funny as hell to me when a big tough guy has a little voice. But man, 8, 9 years of pressure, and his kids are growing up, and I think like Fred, man, it would be nice to see him clear his name, but when it's your last fight, and so many people now have been butthurt, can he clear his name? Is that same fan base, except for in Brazil? Brazilians don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they don't give a shit. It's probably normal. He's normal.
Yeah, he's normal. He's normal. Steroids, oh, he's normal. They don't give a fuck over there right now. He's still a fucking national hero. So if I was him, I would take my ridiculous amounts of Nike money and documentary money and fight money and I see a Barry money, keep my ass in beautiful Brazil where the women are brown and hot and have bubble asses, and just live out the rest of my life and just be happy, man. He can't accomplish anymore. He's got nothing for Weidman. Obviously, the Nick Diaz fight showed that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if he rides off on his white stallion right now and that's the end of Anderson Silva, maybe that's the smartest thing. He's not going to fight anywhere else. The guy's 40 years old. How about this, man? Coach the younger generation. How many times have I said that? Show the younger guys how you turn over the hips. You know, show the younger guys where the meatiest part of your ass is to inject the needle.
He's how you inject. No, they're filming Tough Brazil right now or whatever. Ultimate Fighter. I don't know what they're calling it. It's probably Tough Brazil. But
Yeah,
he's in Vegas.
There was questions about that, whether or not that shit's gonna go down now.
Yeah. Oh, for real? I didn't even know that. Shit. They might have to take him out and replace him with somebody else. I don't know who you'd get, but
I don't know. Hold on. Now on the other side of the coin, we've only focused in on Anderson. You know, Nick got popped too, but nobody gives a shit.
Exactly, it's weed, and it's Nick. What do you expect? You didn't expect this shit from Anderson Silva. I expect Nick Diaz to be high 99.9% of the time. That 0.1%, however long the fight is. The other time, and if he's not high, he's being weird. I find that. I'm saying. All right.
Yeah, but it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, I want to get it across the board, man. We really got to lose this distinction because breaking the law and cheating is breaking the law and cheating. Plain and simple. I don't care if it was performance enhancing or performance diminishing. Do you know what I mean? These guys fucked up. They both fucked up their contract. And one of the biggest super fights of all time now is what? Going to end up a no contest? Or what do you guys think will happen with the decision?
Right, go ahead and go first.
Jesus, what a clusterfuck, right? I have no idea. It's so hard to say what they're going to do with this decision, man. I mean, I would assume that they would make it a no contest at first glance, but because Nick fucking failed his drug test too, like, let me ask you a question. Has this ever even fucking happened before? Have two guys both failed the fucking drug test in the main event of a UFC before? Just a one-off?
I don't know about a main event, but we brought up Sean Shirk and Hermes Franco. Was that a main event, or was that just whatever?
I can't really remember.
I don't remember. That was a while ago.
I don't know what they're going to end up doing with this. My thing with Nick Diaz is, you know, I guess, again, like, it's not surprising. Clearly, everybody kind of knows he smokes. This is like his third time testing positive for marijuana. Surely that shouldn't raise anybody's eyebrows. You know, but hasn't he found a way to not get caught yet? Like, isn't it still a bit fucking careless? Like, you know, I don't know what the fuck. Like, you know, it's still a pretty big fucking fight. You would think that after all this time, even if he was going to smoke, he'd fucking lay off a week or two before the fight, drink water. Like, I don't know. Maybe there was all this talk after the fight about what happens next. Is either guy going to fight again? Well, I'll be a son of a bitch if both of those options didn't just get shot all to fuck. Like, everybody's wondering whether, nope, neither one of these motherfuckers are going to fight anytime soon now for fucking certain. So, like, I hope Nick Diaz didn't have any fucking intentions of making a quick turnaround and possibly getting that rematch with Robbie Lawler that we would all fucking salivate over. Like,
that'd be awesome.
You know, fuck, man.
You know what, though? Here's the thing about Diaz. Diaz clearly doesn't give a shit, all right? That guy knew he was going to get paid his $500,000 plus whatever, and he's going to go right off and be gone for another year or two. He might have known he was going to test positive. He might have known he was going to suspend it anyway. But he got his big fat check. Anderson Silva, on the other hand, was, you know, it almost, I don't know. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but in this post-fight interview and in the press conference saying that, you know, oh, my son called me and said, you know, Dad, no fight no more, whatever the fuck he was saying. You know, when he did that, to me it was like, okay, this guy he's probably not going to fight. He's probably going to come back and say, okay, I'm done. My family doesn't want me to fight. This comes out, and now he's not going to get that choice to come back and fight. And I don't know. I mean, if they change that thing to a no contest, man, which I think is what they're going to end up doing, he ends his career on a loss, technically, you know, because before the no contest, it was a Weidman fight, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So will he want to wait?
All right. Is this waiting on your guys' mind as much as it is mine? Because I think that the fact that the athletes are doing drugs is kind of like secondary to the fact that the motherfuckers that are administrating the tests and giving the results and getting the results know about it prior to these fights.
Yeah. Yeah, they fucking, they knew on the 9th, I think, or on the, whatever.
Dude, come on. With the fucking John Jones thing, you popped hot for coke, don't worry about it. It's out of competition.
Yeah.
And so go ahead and fight. And then Anderson, don't worry about it. It's normal. You know, you popped hot for steroids. Now here's the thing. Okay, what the fuck? Where's the Nevada Athletic Commission? Are they just sitting on their thumbs going, yeah, go make a few million for Titas. We'll keep our mouths shut. But then right after, we're going to dump this shit on everybody, and then we'll have to figure out what we're going to do. That's not how it works for normal people. Like, Fred, say you go out to the club or whatever, you're a dad. Are you married?
Basically.
All right, so you don't go out to the club no more. Let's say that you go to the liquor store and you get a six-pack and you drink it at the liquor store for some reason, and you come home and a cop stops you and you're like, oh, man, but I got some real important shit going on in 3 weeks. How about you just hold off on the bad news and the charges for 3 weeks? Then as soon as my good shit goes down and I get a paycheck, then you tell my girlfriend and my kids, you put me in jail. That's not how this kind of shit works. And so now, man, the idea that the UFC is like this shady fucking organization is starting to become like a disturbing matter for me. I love the sport, but I'm starting to become disturbed by the whole fucking politics and that organization around it, man.
But is that the UFC or is that the Athletic Commission?
You don't think that they're in each other's pockets a little bit?
Well, maybe to a degree, but I mean, I suppose one could go off without the other. The Athletic Commission ultimately holds the responsibility or the authority to do the punishment. I mean, I guess the UFC does too, but like, it's the Athletic Commission's fucking job to enforce these punishments. You know what I mean? Like, they need to step the fuck up and do that.
All right, then on that, line of logic, why are they waiting? Because you got to imagine the Athletic Commission gets these fucking results. By the way, everybody, yes, I'm drinking out of a Monsters University cup.
It's all good.
Listen, you bring up a good point. If an undercard guy tests positive for steroids 3 days out from the event, do they pull him?
Yeah, man, I bet you he gets a mysterious injury.
Oh, yeah. I
You
mean,
think so?
know, cyborg.
Okay. Well, then, if that's the case, then listen, you make a good point. Just like the fact that a lot of guys are doing steroids, and that fucking sucks, but that's just the way the evil world works. It's kind of the same thing. You make the analogy that if you're driving in your car, or if any of us dickheads are driving in our car, and we get caught with a little blow or booze on our breath, we're going to fucking jail. Yeah, that's probably true. If you replace us with a billionaire, I think those circumstances change drastically. And it's the same fucking thing, right? It's the real world. When you're fucking Anderson Silva and there's fucking $100 million riding on this show for Vegas and fucking the Fertitas and whoever the fuck else, no, it doesn't come out because it's a lot more beneficial for everybody fucking else for it to not come out. That's fucked up, but that's just the way the world works. You know what I'm saying? Like,
all right, then I pose this to both you guys. With all that being said and us being completely amateur opinions here, is there any way to remedy it? Or do we just accept the sport for what it is and keep on keeping on?
Yeah, no. I mean, they couldn't remedy it in baseball or anywhere else. I mean, it's no. I don't think there's no real answer to how to deal with something like this. Like, it is what it is.
All right, you guys check this out because we have a couple viewers on YouTube. One of them, screen name is Icy Vegeta. He put this up. Let me put it up here. You can see that?
Yeah.
All right. So that's from 2011 at UFC Cribs, and Anderson Silva was filmed with that in the background. So somebody found that and found out what it was, and it turns out these are pen tip syringes used for insulin or HGH delivery devices. As far as I know, Anderson Silva doesn't have fucking diabetes or whatever. So, it says right here, Norditropin, Nordiflex. Like all growth hormones, Norditropin is taken by injection, the same as when your doctor gives you a shot. Some growth hormones need you to mix the growth hormone before you can inject it, blah, 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 whatever the fuck. So basically, this is from 2011. Okay? So this is just going to add, more fucking fuel to the fire, you know what I mean, as far as like this kind of stuff coming out, so they're already questioning, has this been happening for a long time?
No, he's normal, I have a problem with the sugar, have
a Snickers, bitch, it's fucking easier.
Man, it's the same thing with John Jones, right? Donald Cerrone called him out on Xbox Live or some shit, man. fuck. I don't know. I suppose now they're going to dig through with a fine-tooth comb and we're going to find that this dude was on HGH the whole time. But, you know, actually, now I'm going to switch gears because I've been vindicated. Remember the whole Santa Claus, Tooth Fairy, George St. Pierre thing? I want to keep going back to this because motherfuckers keep bringing up George goddamn St. Pierre.
Okay, yeah.
I think it was even Ed Soares said, man, wouldn't it be great to have that super fight, the GSP Anderson Silva super fight? All right, that ain't never going to happen now, fuckers. And secondly, immediately, George St. Pierre's manager came out and said he has no interest in the Canadian card. He will not be fighting on the Canadian card. So everybody take your smartphones and put a little piece of tape over GSNP. And please stop cluttering up my fucking Twitter feed with hopes and dreams. It's like my dad used to say, wish in one hand and shit in the other. And see which one fills up first.
Exactly. No, but and you know that GSP part was never going to happen. We still don't know if GSP is even going to come back. If I was him, look, first of all, GSP fucking left, and the first thing he said was that he had a huge problem with the drug problem in MMA. And everyone kind of talked, oh, whatever, the Canadian's going to go away for a little while. Who's sitting back looking pretty now? You know, especially when the greatest of all time gets popped.
Well, besides that, not only that, but man, George sustained tremendous damage to his being in his last 4 fights, man. I think that there's been some suspicion that George don't think like he used to, or can't think like he used to. I think the reason why he's staying away is, man, when you take 400 significant punches, what was it, 400 significant punches in his last 2 fights or something crazy like that?
Well, Diaz and Hendricks, yeah.
So, I mean, and here's another thing, too. Like, my favorite, besides fantastic, if you guys listen to my show, I say fantastic too much. It's a habit I can't break. But on this show, I say to what end? I mean, all right, GSP comes back. And what? He's not a spring chicken anymore. Why do people keep wanting this to happen? I don't get it. Like, everybody complained about how fucking boring he was before he left. Does anybody disagree with that? His fights had become boring.
Completely agree.
All right.
I do.
And now that he's gone, it's almost like, you know, like it's almost like that one really good-looking but psycho girlfriend that you had in your life, because we've all had this. And like when you're with her, the sex is fucking great, but she's just like batshit crazy and off the chain all the time. So when you're with her, you're fucking miserable and you get a beer gut and you stop washing your underwear as often and shit. And finally she's gone and you're happy for a while, but then you start pining because she's got perfect titties and a great ass, and all you remember is what was awesome. I think we got the psycho chick ex-girlfriend syndrome going on with GSP, because I don't want him back. I want to see him fight Captain America or Jean-Claude Van Damme. I mean, that's the next phase. So I don't get it. What do you guys? I mean, would you like lay down the 55 and change or whatever if GSP came back? Because I'd stream it.
I'm streaming that shit, or I'm going to a bar or a buddy's house or whatever the fuck. I'm not spending $55 to watch GSP hump somebody to death. You know, and even then, it's like, you're right. He got boring. But he got safe probably because he didn't want to take all that damage, and he still took all that damage. So imagine if he actually stood with people and wanted to stand with guys the entire fight. He would have taken a lot more damage than he did. I don't think he wants to come back anyway.
I don't think we're the type of people to ask something like this about, because I don't get the inclination that any of us are GSP fans or really was before this. I agree with you guys. I think the GSP got extremely fucking boring towards the end, and if he came back, I would not be all that stoked. But GSP kind of has the same type of mojo that Conor McGregor has, man. He's got a nation, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's the fucking Canadian hero. And that dude, listen, George St. Pierre has been boring for George St. Pierre and motherfucking Jake Shields are that's still the most high selling UFC attendance record ever, right?
You know what? I don't know that. I would assume it was a Conor fight, but I don't know.
Who fucking cares? It was really it was really close, and both of those dudes are tediously fucking boring. What the fuck? And there wasn't that many fucking dudes from California there to see fucking silly ass Jake. So that was all on George's Canadian star, man. Like, that dude is still a fucking megastar in Canada and a lot of parts of the the world. We're not major fans of that dude, but I'm sure a lot of fucking people out there are still clamoring to see that dude come back, and they can hang their hat on the fact that he never technically lost. Now, I'm sure we probably all would agree that Hendricks won that fight, but if you're a fucking Canadian GSP fan, you say he didn't fucking win, he lost. He took home an L. Mm-hmm. So, I'm not stoked to see him come back, but I can see why there's still fuckers are going to have that buzz around dude until he gets caught juicing.
Dude, imagine GSP comes out as juicing. I mean, you do know, like, he was like friends with some drug dealer, and people were giving him shit for that, and so he was ducking, staying low and staying out of the media.
It was just pot. Let's not get too crazy.
Oh no, yeah. Look, that's why
they always went to drug dealer like he was selling fucking heroin in Bangkok.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. No, but like even with like the Nick Diaz thing, when he tested positive with weed, my first thought was, that's Nick Diaz. You know what I mean? That's Nick Diaz does not advertise. He does not put out false advertisement. He doesn't tell you he's a fucking angel. He skips open workouts and then tells you, I don't want to do it. And so with Diaz testing positive for weed, it was kind of like, fuck it, whatever. Silva coming out like this is just kind of, I don't know, crazy. So and I think it was Aaron that said that they're actually questioning his involvement in Tough Brazil. They're actually expected to make a decision in the next couple days. Do you guys think he ends up getting yanked from the show?
It'll damage the popularity right now, dude.
So he gets yanked. All right. What do you think, Fred?
Yeah, more than likely, I think that's probably the right move. I mean, I can't imagine them keeping him there and the shitstorm that would bring. Like, they're probably going to want to try to put this in a nice little neat, tidy box and get it swept under the rug as fast as fucking possible, a.k.a. ship him to Brazil and have him stop doing media. You know what I mean? Like, I doubt they want this shit festering, and I highly doubt they want him fucking around in Vegas for the next fucking 2 or 3 months. So,
hell no.
More than likely, he's going to get yanked.
Yeah, more than likely. And it'd be funny to put in John Jones as a replacement. I'd at least laugh. It'd be a good laugh for me. He's like, replacing Anderson Silva. John Jones! Hey, what's up? He shows up. Theme song, I'm in love with the Coco and all that shit.
It wouldn't surprise me that much, to tell you the truth. Man, people, I tell you what, I wish that I could have 10% of the understanding that John Jones gets from fans. Yeah. You know what I mean? I honestly think that this motherfucker could be caught with kiddie porn on his computer. And at least 50% of his nut huggers would be like, yeah, but it was artistic kiddie porn. He wasn't he wasn't jacking off or nothing. It was a beautiful body, you know what I mean? The young boys were perfectly formed. It wasn't a sexual thing.
I'm so uncomfortable with this right now.
I'm going to spin it somewhere, man. I wish I could get this kind of fucking consideration. The dude has destroyed a vehicle that's more expensive than your house while he was drinking and driving with innocent people in it. And people are like, well, I just forgot about that. Then he's snorting rails. People are just like, yeah, but it wasn't during competition. What did you expect him to do? Break out a razor blade in a mirror while he was in the fucking cage? Of course it's in competition. The dude's busy whipping people's asses.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and the thing is, like, reading all this Anderson Silva shit, my thing too is fuck. Like, when I saw this, first thing, I saw this shit on there, and I tweeted about it, and someone hit me back almost immediately, like, oh shit, what's gonna happen now? And I try to come up with something, and I go, fuck, I don't know. I have no idea. Right. I have no clue what's gonna happen. I have fucking speechless. I have no idea. But I have a suggestion for his replacement for Tough Brazil. I say you put in Vitor Belfort, give him something to do.
There you go.
Fuck it. Put in Vitor and then have Vitor and Shogun fight. Fuck. Oh, maybe not fight, but just have him coach that shit and keep that on Fight Pass only. That's what they're gonna do for sure. That shit's not hitting fucking Spike TV. Not Spike TV, but Fox Sports 1 anytime soon. There's no way. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's this whole thing's fucking insane. I'm checking Twitter while we're on the show right now, looking around to see if any more details come out. A certain corporate shill that works with the UFC, calls himself a journalist, but he's not really a journalist, says on Twitter that there was no random drug testing for Silva's last 2 fights against Weidman in Nevada. So you wonder, you know, that just throws in more question marks, more questions. Has he been doing this for a while? I fucking hope not. I hope he just got desperate and the pressure got to him and he did it this one time. But you know what? You know what?
There's no sense in doing that though either. You're never gonna know. So I don't know. I don't really want to get caught fucking going down that wormhole. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to like oh well there to be this crazy. Well you know every fight that he didn't get tested for now there's this major question because we'll never know. So listen, he tested positive for this fight. We know that. We can judge him based upon that. You know, even the little snapshot that was interesting. That was cute, and that was fast too. Whoever the fuck did that, Jesus Christ, we got Sherlock Holmes out there on fucking Anderson's case.
Oh yeah.
But you know, I don't think that I don't know. There's a world of speculation to be had about his previous fights, and I think that's not really cool, as none of us are going to be able to ever really know whether he did or didn't. So what the fuck?
Yeah. All right. Well, changing gears here. What did you guys think of that Nick Diaz-Anderson Silva fight? I mean, now we know Diaz is fighting a guy that had used roids during his training camp.
Man, am I retarded? Hold on a second.
What up?
No, okay, I'm sorry. I am getting massive hatred right now on Twitter. Hold on.
Why? From
the shit I told you guys earlier.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The fucking dam is breaking right now. I'm sorry, everybody. It's not my fault.
Listen, I'll go first right quick then while Aaron's receiving his hate mail on Twitter.
Okay.
I was a little surprised at the fight, man. I kind of thought that Anderson would have his way a bit more with Nick Diaz, and I might as well just go ahead and touch on the shit that Nick was doing in the fucking first round. Thought that shit was fucking brilliant. Like I thought it was fun as just to watch, like him doing some crazy shit to the greatest of all time. It's ironic that that's usually what Anderson does to other people. It was a fun fight. I thought that Anderson would do a bit better. I thought he would be able to muscle Nick around a little bit more. And now, having the newfound information that we have, knowing he was fucking juiced up, I'm terribly surprised that he wasn't able to, neutralize Nick in the clinch a little bit more. It feels like Nick actually, don't get me wrong, I know, and I mean, Eddie might even hold this stance, I think, that maybe he thinks that Nick won the fight. I don't think that Nick won the fucking fight by any stretch. Let's just get that out there. But he did have some success in some of those clinch exchanges where it felt weird. It felt like Anderson kind of should have went to town on him in those spots, and he kind of didn't. And a couple times he kind of got caught with elbows and shit over the top that backed him up actually out of the clinch, where Nick Diaz kind of won those exchanges a couple times. So I think Anderson won the fight, but I think that it was one of those fights where Nick Diaz didn't lose a whole lot. He went up a weight division and fought the GOAT on fucking steroids now, and didn't get finished and held his own and arguably won a round or two. So yeah.
I mean, as far as what I thought about, I didn't think Diaz won, but I thought, I just didn't think Silva fucking showed up to fight. I thought he was running. It really looked to me like he was running. And but it might just be the fact that I'm that big of a Diaz fan that look, first of all, I fucking love that shit he pulled in the first round where he was talking. Look, he kept my respectful. Didn't say a word before the fight. Didn't say shit during weigh-ins. No, the press conference, nothing. But comes out in the kitchen was, come on, pussy, come get you some. Let's go. And then lying on the ground, showing his back. I was like, oh, dude, what the fuck? Seriously, at that point, I was like, greatest fight ever right there. Of course, it was in the moment, but still. I was like, greatest fucking fight ever. I can't believe he's doing this to Anderson Silva. He's Anderson Silvaing Anderson Silva. Silva does that shit to people. You know what I mean? And Nick Diaz clearly doesn't give a shit, which I'm not surprised he tested positive for weed. He gives no fucks whatsoever. But as far as the fight goes, I just didn't like the fact that Silva wasn't. I mean, he could have lit up Nick Diaz. All right, he could have if Anderson Silva was 100% still himself. I think he should have destroyed Nick, and he didn't. It was fucking weird to see. But what did you think of the fight, Aaron?
All right, I think last week we talked, and I said that it was going to be a tough fight. I don't think anybody destroys Nick Diaz. You know what I mean? Because to me, Nick Diaz is actually like one of the scariest guys you can be in a fight with, because he's not there as an athlete or as a competitor. Do you know what I mean? Like when he gets in there, you can tell, man, that's like a street yard. That's like a street yard or a schoolyard brawl. He's mad. You know what I mean? Like he wants to fight you, and he knows that he's going to take his. He knows he's going to bleed. He don't care about that. I mean, he's had his bones shaved down and scar tissue taken off to stop him from cutting so bad. He knows he's going to get busted up and doesn't give a shit. He's going to stay right there in the pocket. And I'm telling you what, man, people talk about his pity pat punches and stuff like this. I bet you those fuckers hurt. You know what I mean? Because he knows how to throw them. I bet you those things are a lot harder than what we see when we're, enjoying Coronas on the couch, with our girls or whatever. So, I don't know, man. I thought it was highly entertaining. I liked the first round. I liked what he did, laying down and picking a wedgie out of his ass and twerking and whatever else. But I wish come second and third, I wish they would have just got to it, man. Somebody pull the trigger. I think at that point, Anderson knew that his leg wasn't going to blow out. I think he also knew that Diaz, that is very characteristic of Diaz, was not going to check the lead leg kick. You know what I mean? He doesn't check kicks ever. So I think, and I saw a moment or two where I thought it was like, oh, here it is. Anderson Silva's going to ramp it up like he does in the second, and he's going to gain that momentum. But Nick was just slick, man. He wouldn't play into the game. He wouldn't be the aggressor because Silva likes to, destroy the aggressor as a counterpuncher. So for me, I mean, honestly, the fight was entertaining, but the battle left me flat. I really have a hard time, just like with Donald Cerrone and
Benson
Henderson. I have a really hard time watching fights where neither guy really pulled the trigger. Like there was opportunities for Silva to pull the trigger and be aggressive, and I think that Nick probably could have been more aggressive. Then of course in the post-fight, stuff coming out now that he might have had an elbow injury or something. I don't know, man. Nick Diaz, for as much as I love him, the boy always has a multitude of excuses why it didn't go his way. But yeah, it left me a little bit flat. It definitely wasn't the 55 and change that had been the lead up for so long. And speaking of fighting with horrific injuries, my apologies to Tyron Woodley.
Yeah, that fucking broken foot. Holy shit.
Fuck. Broken? Jesus Christ, crushed. What the
that foot destroyed.
What did he hit on Calvin Gastelum that made his foot explode?
I'm going to say an elbow, man. You never know. But fucking, because he was limping out of the post-fight press conference. Like, he limped very noticeably. And I'm like, why is no one asking about that shit? Like, they saw him limp into the fucking post-fight press conference. They didn't ask him shit. And he limped out. And then the x-rays came out and all that shit. And that is the most destroyed foot I've seen in a long time. It's like broken in like 3 different places.
I think I figured 4. It looked it looked like it was the greater metatarsal. Like 2 of his toes were busted off at the base, and then something over by his pinky toe too.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long healing process right there, I think, because that's.
And then he wants to give back the money. Then he wants to give back the money to Kelvin Gastelum, so Kelvin can keep eating at Taco Bell.
That's fucked up too, because look, Gastelum missed weight by 10 pounds. People are saying, or his camp says it, that he had flu-like symptoms and shit the day of.
Ed, hold on. You can probably find this way faster than I can. See if you can find Calvin Gastelum with Dolce and without, and then tell me that had anything to do with flu-like symptoms. When he forked out the dough to be with Mike Dolce, the dude had abs and striations. He's sitting on the scale with a big smile on his face, and Dolce has got that look of satisfaction standing behind him going, look what I did. And then you have him without Dolce, and he kind of looked like me without my shirt on, which isn't.
He looked depressing like shit.
He was depressed because he knew that scale wasn't going to go anywhere near the digits he wanted it to.
But what about the homeboy, like, switching gears quickly? What about John Lineker? Like, what the fuck is up with this dude? Like,
that guy's just a lazy asshole, I think.
I mean, fuck, he just basically quit, right? Like, fuck it, I ain't cutting the other 4 pounds, Jack. I don't feel like it.
That's literally what he said. He said, fuck it.
I
What the
love.
fuck kind of bullshit is that?
I'm not the kind of guy who can pull it off, but Fred is, and that's why I hope to co-host with him someday. That Jack thing, fucking
Yeah.
Jack. I ain't doing this shit no more. I will bet you those were his word. I bet you that was word for word. He looked at his coach and he was like, "Fuck it, Jack. 4 pounds in my ass. I'm gonna go beat Uncle Creepy's mustache off his face."
All right, so that's
There
that's
you go. Yeah, right.
Gastelum with Dolce.
Look at how he fucking looked with. Look at the smile on Mike Dolce. He is one happy.
Yeah, and then this is Kelvin Gastelum at UFC 183.
Womp womp.
Yeah, totally, dude.
No,
Yeah, I
Brent,
mean-
okay, look at Rogan. Look at Rogan staring real hard at his ass. Like, man, I'm in better shape than this fat fucker. And now go back to the Dolce pick.
Yeah. That's actually kind of incredible, man. The difference there is startling, actually. Like, he even looks fucking paler in this other picture.
Yeah, dude, he ain't got the blood flow, nothing. Now go to Thiago Silva, and show what Dolce can do for somebody. Click on that. Well, you just had it up.
I had it. Hold up. Where?
It was on the bottom of your screen. I think it's gone now though. Go down to Tyron Woodley. No. Yeah, see, look at him.
Yeah.
Now don't tell me, I don't give a shit about BJ Penn or nothing like this. Do not tell me that it is not worth forking out the dough to have Dolce in your corner.
Look, the guy knows his shit, man.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, and then Dolce, all the memes came out saying, don't be cheap, homie, fucking hire Dolce and all that shit. And, but now, okay, so now let's move ahead with this. Gastelum, according to Dana White, has to go up to 185, and Lineker has to be a bantamweight fighter now. Is it fair to the fighters, to those guys, to make him move up?
What?
I got
Fuck. Let me jump in on Lineker. Of course, Lineker, motherfucker, you have got to go up for sure, my dude. Like, you clearly either can't make 25 or flat don't fucking want to. So, yeah, you definitely got to go up. And quite frankly, you too, Kelvin Gastelum. If you ever miss weight by more than 9 fucking pounds, you should be forced to. I don't give a fuck if it's your first time. If you come in 9 pounds overweight and you don't got cancer, you got to get moved the fuck up to the next weight class. What the fuck? Fuck that. There's no excuse for fucking 10 pounds, man.
that's the Fred Kirby clause right there in your UFC contract. You don't back unless you got cancer.
Shit.
Yeah, they both need to go up. They both need to go up for sure.
You know what?
Hold on. Here's my thing on that. Real quick. Lineker going up 10 pounds, 25 to 35, that boy carries power. I don't think it'll make any difference. I think at 135 he'll actually probably not have to cut as much, and his hands might be even scarier. But the plain and simple fact is he's got nothing for Demetrius Johnson. He's not fast enough. He'll look like a fucking clown in there with him. Maybe the 10 extra pounds will slow down his opponents where you can have that plodding, fucking flat-footed, hard right hand, hard left cross, or you know what I mean, right hook, left straight.
Sure.
But man,
Look at Petita's face.
In the case of Kelvin Gastelum, guys, that's a fucking 15-pound jump. He's going to be fighting big motherfuckers. And he couldn't hang with Woodley with a broken foot. So at 185, man, whatever kind of hype train he's got going on, that fucker's going to be derailed immediately if he has to go up to middleweight. He's done.
Hey, Aaron, check out Fertitta's face. He's like, what the fuck again? You son of a bitch.
Dude, right now all I can see is a Crossbones MMA.
Son of a bitch. All right, fuck it. I'm taking it.
It was. I seen it. Yeah, I seen it.
Yeah, dude, I caught it for a second. He's craning over. You got to be fucking shitting me, right?
But second shit.
I agree though. He's probably got to be thinking like, this fucking guy missed weight again. Like, you got a title shot on the line here, man.
Yeah.
Huh?
He's looking at, what the fuck? You got your keys in your pocket? Why are you so heavy?
That dude literally, I mean, he just said, fuck it, I'm not doing it. I'll just take the hit. You know, and you can only do it so many times where you have to, you know, be told to move up. So now he's going to be fighting 135ers, you know, and Gastelum's in an even bigger disadvantage fighting 185ers. Is going to be, a weird thing to watch. But we're about at an hour, fellas. So let's see. Let's wrap up the whole thing here. Nick. Oh, obviously, real quick. I think Nick Diaz is gonna get suspended again. Ben Askren tweeted out that maybe Nick Diaz should go over to ONE FC and fight in what he calls real MMA rules. What would you guys think of a Nick Diaz at ONE FC, type of move?
I'd love it.
Fred?
I hate it.
Hate it?
I mean, listen, if he can get a fight in the meantime and he can't be fighting in the UFC, then sure, why not? But as opposed to like having him in the UFC, hell no, fuck that. What the fuck's he? Listen, with all due respect to Mr. Funky, who the fuck is he going to fight in ONE FC except for Mr. Funky, who is going to make the fight fucking funky? And not in a good way, Jack. Like, I like Ben Askren, but he's the next coming of GSP. Thank God he knows how to run his mouth, because his fighting skills leaves a little bit to be desired as well, as far as it goes.
Yeah, so do his wrestling skills. Boy got his ass handed to him by another wrestler. So I don't want to hear. I mean, Ben Askren, all respect and everything like that, but don't be talking about your best wrestler in mixed martial arts when you're not the best wrestler in wrestling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. Yeah, nah, I don't know. I mean, it would be fun to see Nick Diaz in a old Pride style esque rules fight, but not if there's no fucking competition there.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess I don't take into consideration the level of competition over there. I just really like the fact that, like, when I first started watching MMA, you could still wear shoes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I watched it from way back, and some guys wore shoes, some guys didn't. Some guy wore gis, some guys didn't. So you know what I mean? So, and I love Pride, and I like all the organizations. So I like to see, like, I have a big problem with the tripod rule. Like, if I'm bent over at the waist and my finger is touching the mat, somehow it's more damaging to my head to get smashed in the face with your knee. But if I lift my finger up off the mat, I can defend that better. Some of that shit's just a little bit wild to me. But I agree with Ed and wow, I never put this together. I agree with both Ed and Fred. That yeah, man, there's gonna be suspensions. I don't know if we're gonna see either of these cats in the cage. We certainly won't see them anytime soon. These guys both. I mean, Anderson Silva, man, his shelf life's getting short. His expiration date's coming up. Nick Diaz will always bring a crowd, no matter where he goes. It's a bummer that we're not going to see him for a while, because after Gomi, what was it, a year suspension?
Yeah, it was a year long. It'll probably be another year this time. And here's the thing, though. Yeah.
Another 12 months. That sucks.
Oh, if he doesn't get fined too much damn money, he's still got $500K to take home. And fucking, that's a lot of weed. That's all I know. So.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. There's all this fucking shit, man. It's weird. Like, was this shit happening 5 years ago in the UFC, or was I just, like, not paying attention? Because I don't remember all this injury and weight cut and drugs and suspensions and rematches and shit. It's almost like something like fucking karma's coming down on the organization or something. Because remember, 2015 was supposed to be different than 2014. Absolutely. Man, it's like they fucking hit instant replay on this shit.
Yeah. So, So, I mean, I think I speak for everyone where we hope to find out what the hell happens sometime soon. And obviously, look, in the way the NSAC works with their meetings, they're actually not going to be in the next meeting. They'll schedule the meeting to talk about this shit, which I think is February 17th is the next meeting. So at that meeting, they'll talk about when they're going to fucking schedule the next meeting to fucking talk about what's going to happen about this shit. So, all right, we're going to wrap up with that. Thanks, fellas, for joining me. I know it's a little, it's maybe like a little before 11:30 where you guys are at.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I'll let you guys go get some sleep and all that shit. So, you can follow Fred at Kirby_MMA, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I fucking memorized that shit. And then you can follow Aaron over at Stand the letter N Bang Radio, right?
Oh wait, I do want to say one real quick thing. I love the name Stand and Bang Radio. It's Stand and Bang podcast on iTunes and shit like that. But I had this is just for you guys, and if anybody else finds this funny, I put my shit up on Reddit, and I had the Karate Hottie and Jody Escobar on the show for the last show, and the only comment I got on Reddit from this show was stand and bang, lay and bang, kneel and bang. What the fuck ever? Just give me some.
Oh, all due respect to the karate hottie Jody Escobar, but that's a fucking that's what you know what you can go when you go to Reddit, you get some gold comments, man. I put shit up on Reddit before where I got shit on horribly, and I was still laughing my ass off. Like it was the funniest shit. Because I don't take myself seriously enough to be mad about it. So I was laughing so fucking hard, dude. So no, Reddit always comes up with the best shit. But
yeah, dude, if you got thick skin, put your stuff up on Reddit. You'll get tons of hits. People will shit on you all day because that's what they go there for, man. They go there specifically. If you think Twitter is a fucking shit and hate fest,
jeez,
fucking Reddit, man, they should just call it troll it because those motherfuckers are just waiting for you.
And you know what? If you want to take it a step further, go to 4chan. Okay, I've been on 4chan 3 times in my life, and every single time I saw shit that I never wanted to see ever. It's the weirdest fucking shit you see on there. All right.
Hey, when we're done with the show, send me a link to that. I don't even know what you're talking about.
To 4chan? Oh god, do you want me to send you that shit? Jesus. All right, fellas. So thanks for joining me tonight. You guys have a good night, and we'll see you guys on the next Keyboard Warriors.
All right. Good night, guys.
Later guys.